going on, Beowulf Nation? It's on Beowulf, back at it with another YouTube video. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Existing subscribers, hit the bell notification. Get notified as soon as the video is uploaded. Also, to check out the Amazon store, amazon.com/shop/IamBeowulf. Also, to check out the I Am Beowulf merch at BeowulfNation.com. The really cool Psycho Kitty NFT sweatshirt is what I have on right now. And a bunch of really cool merch, to check that out at BeowulfNation.com. Also, to check out the free $25 with Crypto.com. All those promo links are in the description of my YouTube video. I saw this before, I think after the New Year, because today is January 3rd. This article from December 20th, 2021. And stuff cannot get weirder before the year ended. It did, and from England. And this is, when I saw this, I couldn't believe it. And let's get talking about it. It says the extinct millipede, the length of a car, once roamed northern England. What? An insect the size of a car? Yeah, you heard me right. Let's get talking about it. It says the scientists stumbled upon a fossilized remains of an ancient millipede, the length of a small car dating from before the time of the dinosaurs. So this existed before dinosaurs walked this earth, planet Earth. That is very, very crazy. And it's crazy enough that something like this is found in 2021. The animal is believed to have broken the record for the largest known arthropod, phylum of a segment invertebrates that include insects, lobsters, and spiders. The nearly 3 foot long arthropod fossil discovered in England about 40 miles of north of Newcastle is described to the Journal of Geological Society on Tuesday. It represents just one section of the creature, thought to be 3 times as long, measuring 2.7 meters long, nearly 9 feet, and weighing over 50 kilograms, approximately 110 pounds. Lead author Neil Davis, an earth scientist at the University of Cambridge, tells NPR that he and his group of PhD students almost literally stumbled upon the fossil in January of 2018. The group was on a social trip to Northumberland, near England's border with Scotland. They stopped in an area that Davis says he knew well for previous holiday visits. Just as it was getting dark, we saw that there is a boulder that had fallen from the cliff. He says that noticed a big crack and then saw this really large fossil inside. Davis says he and his colleagues weren't sure what they had found and only convinced themselves of what it was once they returned the next morning for a closer look. This type of animal lived during the Carboniferous period between 346 million to 295 million years ago. That's a long time ago. When what is now England is most closer to the equator. If you're not familiar, all the continents were all closer, and it's spread out over time. So this was like in a very warm part of the center of the equator, where England once was. While a number of preserved trackways believed to be from the creature have been uncovered over the years, only 2 other relatively intact fossilized specimens have ever been found. Neither of them were as big as the one Davis and his colleagues found, however. One of the reasons that not many fossils have been uncovered is probably because the bodies of these giant millipedes tended to come apart after they died. Davis said for this reason he thinks that what they found is actually a fossilized carapace, the casing of a discarded after the animal molts. People have found fragments of skeletons, individual legs, or individual bits of the skeleton, but not something like this. This kinds of articulated, he explains. Furthermore, he says the area of Northumberland where the fossil was found is mostly sandstone, which is normally not brilliant for preserved fossils. And they show a picture of this thing. This thing is just like huge, and they show kind of where it moving around, or artist rendering of what this insect was. So the fact that it's been preserved is, on the other hand, surprising, but it just suggests that actually there are more to be, a lot more and similar things in places where people haven't really looked for fossils before, Davis says. The fossil appears to knock another scientist species known as a sea scorpion out of the top spot of the largest arthropod. The sea scorpions lived roughly the same time as the arthropleura, but most lived in brackish and freshwater shallows rather than in the open sea. This thing lived in the water too. I mean, if you had a time machine, I tell you, definitely a time machine wouldn't be going back. There is some scary stuff that walked this planet before. David's big find is not only a new or rare example of extinct giant millipede, but because of the fossil dated age, it might help shed light on why these creatures were so big. High levels of atmospheric oxygen during the late Carboniferous and the Permian periods have been thought to account for it. But the fossils that Davis and his colleagues found predates that peak, as do some fossilized trackways found previously. The oxygen really doesn't take off until after things have evolved, and it doesn't really peak until after they apparently go extinct, he says. They don't quite match up. Instead, he says, the verdant landscape that existed at the time and the lack of much competition might have given Arthropleura the chance to get bigger. They might be interacting with predators that might be growing larger to develop predatory attributes, Davis says, but yeah, it does seem to be oxygen, and it seems to be something much more environmental. That's pretty crazy. So it's like, I was just talking to my dad about this. It's just crazy how big things used to be and how smaller it is, and it does make sense with relating with oxygen levels. And science is super interesting to me because it just shows how the future was with this. But it's crazy that some giant insect the size of a small car walked this planet before. That's really scary. It's cool and scary. Glad it doesn't exist right now. Wouldn't it be unbelievable? I'm really big into fossils. I used to collect fossils, and I still have them all. They're all stored away, but it's cool. And I put some photos with this thing with the fossil they found. It's very interesting. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Existing subscribers, hit the bell notification. You get notified as soon as the video is uploaded. Check out my Amazon store, amazon.com/shop/IamBeowulf. Check out the I Am Beowulf merch at BeowulfNation.com. Like some of the cool merch I got on right now. Check out the free $25 with Crypto.com. All these promo links are linked in my YouTube video. Be driven to win. Remember, every day is Earth Day. Stay mighty and keep strong.